He's looking for those that know when he can knock off the Father's list, if you will. If he can do that, then you're subject to these false prophets, these people that can do miracles. You're going to fall for that if you're not careful. That's what I want you to see in that process. Okay? Everyone's good? All right, hallelujah. All right, now let's go to Numbers, Bamidbar chapter 29. Now, it's going to be 29, 12 through 40, but I'm not going to read 12 through 40. We'll be here for a little bit. But we're going to read 12 through 17, because I just want to go over something specific. All right, so Bamidbar, Numbers chapter 29, starting at verse 12. All right, so what this goes over is a sequence of sacrifices. All right, these go over a sequence of sacrifices with different animals. Okay? Okay, it's a long sequence. That's why I'm not going to go through forward, because each sequence actually has a message. So I'm only going to focus on the message with the young bulls. Okay? But each one has a message. All right, so 29:12 says, and on the 15th day of the 7th month, what is this? Okay, great. It says, you shall have a set-apart convocation. You shall do no servile work. You shall keep a feast unto you for 7 days. And you shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor to you, Lord. 13 young bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year. They shall be without blemish. Verse 14. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deal unto every bullock of the 13 bullocks, 2/10 deal to each ram of the 2 rams, and a several tenth deal to each lamb of the 14th lamb. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offerings, his meat offering, and his drink offering, in verse 17. And on the 2nd day, you shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot. Now, without me going over a lot of prophecy about the first day and the 2nd day, I just want to share with you, you have 13 young bullocks that you read on the 2nd day, 12 young bullocks, right? Does anyone know any prophecy concerning this? And meaning this way, who are these young bulls?
12 tribes.
Okay, you said 12 tribes, how about 13?
One's missing. Dan?
Said one's missing Dan. Well, we got 1 for 13, we got 1 for 12. You're on the right track. So don't be upset. Don't patch it for you.
You said, well, the Levites.
Huh?
The Levites.
Levites. Okay. Anyone else? Want to help out? And I'm not saying you guys are wrong. So just so you understand, I'm going to narrow the scope in just a minute. Okay, great. So, thank you all. Reuben, Simeon, Gad, Yehuda, Issachar, Zebulon, Yahusef has what? Okay. All right. And from Manasseh, Benjamin, Dan, Asher, Naphtali, and the Levites. There's your 13. Okay? So, but there's something special about Ephraim. Very something special. We're going to look at these 2 things. One we'll look at first in Bereshit, Genesis 48, 14 through 16. And then I'll talk really quick about the young bulls. Okay, Bereshit or Genesis chapter 48, 14 through 16. All right, how we look? Good? All right. So it says, and Yashra'al stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who is the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh, had guiding his hand willingly. And Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed himself and said, Elohim, before whom my father Abraham, Yitzchak, or Isaac did walk, the Elohim which fed me all my life, long unto this day. The Malach of the messenger which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my father Abraham and Yitzchak, and let them grow into multitude in the midst of the earth. Okay, so we'll pause from there. Don't lose your place, because we've got to come back to this. But everyone sees where this 13 is coming from, right? All right, good. So now, the young bull. Young bull. The Hebrew there for young bull is bani bakar, or bakar. Anyone know what that means? I know you do, because you say it all the time.
Morning.
Bani.
Son.
Son of the morning.
Son of the morning.
You said son of the morning?
Son of the first morning. You said the car. Would it be like first fruit or firstborn or something like that?
Close.
How do you spell
Okay, so first let's talk about Bani. What's Bani?
Son.
Sons or
Children.
children. All right. So we're down. Sons, children. Is everyone good?
Yes.
All right. Bakar, this is in the root form, meaning to break forth. Okay, meaning to break forth. All right. So I want you to understand these 13 and these 12 are going to be the children of Israel breaking forth. And with me so far. But there's something about the 13. That's why I said we got to come back. Right? So let me give you other words for bakar other than breaking forth. Because we need to understand what does it mean to break forth. Right? Now, I mean just bogart your way through the mall. Right? So another way is to inspect. This is what he's going to do. To inspect. To search. To seek out. To consider. Okay? These are going to be the sacrifice. These are the ones that he's looking for out of the 12 tribes. It's going to be a remnant that's going to be doing that he's looking for. So I'm telling you, this day is very, very important because we got to realize that throughout these feast days, you got to make yourself ready at all times. If you want him to consider you a children or a child of a bakar, if you want him to consider you to be the one that he's going to take, then you got to get your heart right. Okay? And that 8th day is a picture of what you would do. Okay? Is everyone good so far? All right. Now, Deuteronomy 33, 16 and 17. But don't lose your place in better sheet now. Don't lose your place in Genesis 48. Deuteronomy 33, 16 and 17. You gotta go. We should run some bookmarks.
Yeah.
Where did that take? Okay. All right. It says, and for the precious things of the earth, and fullness thereof, and for the goodwill of him that dwelt in the bush, let the blessings come upon the head of who? Okay, and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brothers. His esteem is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horn are like the horns of what? Of a wild ox. Now I know King James has a unicorn or something like that, right? Or some funny looking, okay, no. A wild ox. Keep that in mind. And when he shall push, because this is a wild ox, listen to what happened. He shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are 10,000 of Ephraim, and they are thousands of Manasseh. Can you see how they're going to be very, very important in the end? All right? So yes, you can think about the 13 tribes, if you will. You can think about that in that way, in respect to Revelations. But also, you got to think about, he's still got to restore the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? Making it 2 sticks one. So that's why it says very important for day 1 and day 2. Ephraim and Manasseh is going to help with day 1, and then you got day 2. Okay? But again, that'll be me going over prophecy here. Now, back to Genesis 48. We're just going to read verse 18 and verse 19. Yeah, 18 and 19. How much more I got? Oh, you said I got much time? All I need. Okay. You know what I like about these chairs, brothers and sisters? See, you can't put kickstands up on this. See that? You can't do it now. You're gonna bust your neck. All right. 18:19 says, the young servant Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put your right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly, his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become Nila HaGoyim. Okay? Multitude of the nation, or fullness of the Gentiles. Okay? Very important. You want to see that? You look that up in Romans 11:25 to see that that's where that's located. All right, now, Sukkot. Zechariah 14:1. Zechariah 14:1. Zechariah chapter 14, starting at verse 1 through 9, and then I'll just read verse 16 and 17. Then I want to share with you a pattern before we close. Okay? Okay. These days, coats, tabernacles. It's okay. I know, sister. I see. I see. It's okay. I'm going to wait for you. Yeah, you see your dad's tapping his feet like, I can't believe my daughter is at a chapel yet. It's okay. It's okay. Take your time. All right. Okay. So it says, behold, the day of Yahuwah comes, and your spoil shall be divided in the midst of you. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses raffled, women ravished. And half of the city shall go forth in captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall Yahuwah go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the days of battle. And his feet shall stand that day upon Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof towards the east and towards the west, and there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove towards the north, and half of it towards the south. And you shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yea, you shall flee, like as you fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Yehudah. And Yahuwah my Elohim shall come, and all saints with you. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to Yahuwah, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. And it shall be in that day that living water shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them towards the former sea, and half of them towards the hinder sea. In the summer and in the winter shall it be. And Yahuwah shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Yahuwah, and his name one. Now, jump down to verse 16 and 17. So when is this day going to take place? And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King of Yahuwah of hosts, and keep the feast of Sukkot, or tabernacle. It shall be that whoso will not come up of all families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King of Yahuwah of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. Okay? Everyone sees what's happening on Sukkot. All right. Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 2. Something that we should consider. Okay? Nehemiah chapter 8, starting at verse 2. After that, it's just 2 more pages, I promise you. Okay? Oh, yeah. Man, I saw all the red leave out their eyes. I saw the whiteness of their eyeballs. All right, we're almost there. We're tracking now. I had to extend it for the Zakim. He's here now. All right. Nehemiah chapter 8, starting at verse 2, 3, and then 5 through 10, and then 13 through 18. This is about the longest I probably read about Nehemiah, but I want us to get some understanding as to what happened. It says, and Ezra the priest broke the law before the congregation, both men, women, and all that could hear with understanding, upon the first day of the 7th month. Okay, everyone knows this is the 7th month. And he read therein before the streets that was before the water gate, from the morning until midday, before the men and women, and those that could understand, and the ears of all the people were attentive unto the book of the law. Now, keep in mind, I want you to see this is how we work about the awakening blast. This is during the time of Teruah. All right? They're listening now. Okay, just keep this process going. This is how we are in captivity, so to speak. So it says, and Ezra opened the book in the sight of all the people, for it was above all the people, and when he opened it, all the people stood up. Okay, I know, this, I don't make no laws. Okay, I don't do that, but when they heard it, it was so good, they stood up. Okay, unless you got knee problems, no. Verse 6. And Ezra blessed Yahuwah, the great Elohim, and all the people answered, Amen, Amen, with lifting up their hands. And they bowed their heads and worshiped Yahuwah with their face to the ground. Also, now I know we're not going to do that because we know what's on the ground today, right?
Right.
I got you. So also, Yashra'al and Beni and Shabiah and Yamin and Akhud and Shabitha and Hodiah and Messiah and Kalita and Azariah and Yahuzab, Hanan, Haliah and Luim, or the Levites, caused the people to understand the law. And the people stood in their place. So they read in the book of the law of Elohim distinctly, and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading. And Nehemiah, which is the Tertiah, and Ezra the priest, the scribe, and the Luim or the Levites, that taught the people, said unto all the people, this day is set apart unto Yahuwah Elohim. Mourn not, nor weep, for all the people wept when they heard the words of the law. Then he said unto them, go you your way, eat the fat and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. But this day is set apart to neither be you sorry, for the joy of Yahuwah is your strength. Okay? So again, think about it. When they heard it, it was like, I can't believe we violated the Most High like this. You see, this is a type of circumcised heart we have to have. The minute you hear you've done something wrong to the Most High, that should make you feel like something. Okay? A lot of us don't have that sometimes. Sometimes, oh man, I'll just do it good next time. That's not going to work for the Most High. It's good for that circumcised heart. Some people start to cry when they start saying, man, Father, I keep violating your word. You know what I mean? All right, verse 13. And on the second day were gathered together the chief of the fathers of all the people, the priests and the Levites, unto Ezra the scribe, even to understand the words of the law. Verse 14, and they found written in the law, which Yahuwah has commanded by Moses, that the children of Yashra'al shall dwell in booths in the feast of the 7th month, and that they should publish and proclaim in all their cities and in Jerusalem, saying, go forth unto the mount and fetch olive branches. See what they're about to get? They're about to make their what? Good. And pine branches and myrtle branches and palm branches and branches of thick trees to make booths. And it is written, so the people went forth and brought them and made themselves booths, every one upon the rooftop of his house. So it's okay if you're there. I know some of you guys are at the house. It's written, it's okay. All right? Some people say, I wasn't there. It's all right. And in their courts. Okay, and in the courts of the house of Elohim, and in the street of the water gate, and in the street of the gate of Ephraim, and all the congregation of them that were come again out of captivity made booths, and sat under the booth, for since the days of Yashra'al ben Nun unto the day that day had not the children of Yashra'al done so, and there was very great gladness. Also, day by day, from the first day until the last day, he read the book of the law of Elohim. And they kept the feast 7 days. And on the 8th day was a solemn assembly according unto the manner. Okay? So how many of us for the 7 days, we will read the Torah every day? Okay, we'll do it next year. Okay? I saw something like, no. We didn't do that. All right, it's all good. So next year we'll say, listen, every day we have to at least read from the laws of the prophet. We got to read up where it's the Torah, right? We got to get this back going the way it should be. All right. Deuteronomy or Devarim 31 verse 9, because where they learned this from, we're going to see it's actually this portion of the Torah. Okay, in Deuteronomy or Devarim chapter 31, verse 9 through 13. All right. So it says, and Moses wrote this law and delivered unto the priest and the Levim, which bear the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, and to all elders of Yashra'al. You got no choice. Okay? It says, and Moshe commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, Shemitah, the year of release. Okay? Keep that in mind. In the feast of Sukkot, wait, I thought it was Jubilee. Okay, so I want you to see something. Verse 11. When all Yashra'al Israel is come to appear before Yahuwah Elohim in the place which he shall choose, you shall read this law before all the children of Yashra'al in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and your strangers that's within your gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and fear Yahuwah Elohim and observe to do all the words of this law. And that their children, which have not known anything, may hear and learn to fear Yahuwah Elohim as long as you live in the land whether you go over the Jordan to possess it. So you can see this is what was happening in Nehemiah. This is where you get this from. Okay, so as a result, the feast was a time when all were called to rejoice. Every 7 years, all would hear the Torah. That would be the year of release. It was the 7-year cycle known as Shemitah cycles. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those things. If not, we'll talk about that later. And it was the heart of the Jubilee cycle that year. Okay? The Shemitah year was the Shabbat year when even the land would rest. Everything is at rest. Okay? Just like the count of Shavuot, Feast of Weeks, you count by sevens, and we're going on today. So in close, I got 2 last places I'm going to close with. It's going to be Genesis chapter 6, verse 3. This is Kasalaba's puppy right here. Okay, so I had to read this just because I know he loves this one particular verse. It says, and Yahuwah said, my spirit shall always strive with man, but he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. What does that mean to you guys? I thought you taught this. You said you did, didn't you? Oh, okay. Okay, we get warm. I mean, you know, we get warm. Okay. I mean, prophetically, what does he have to do?
The end of the generation?
Okay. So why don't we talk about this on the phone? About the Jubilee somehow? Oh, you did? They just shy today.
Is that how many Jubilees are?
Yeah. Notice if you count 120 Jubilees, where that would take you.
Where what?
Where it would take you. 120 Jubilees. Okay? But since you talked about it, I guess you got to do another class out there. I mean, I guess you got to do another class. All right. So just keep in mind 120 here, but a shadow picture of Jubilee counts. Each Jubilee up to 120, which will lead you to actually going into the Promised Land. Okay? So I'm just going to make it that simple. And then I want to give you a scenario going into the promised land with someone that didn't make it. Okay? Devarim 34, verse 7. So Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 7. Well, we can pull some teeth here. I know that on there. No question about it. All right. So it says, the Moshe Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes was not dim, nor his nature force abated. What I want you to see is 120 years, he could not make it into the promised land. He couldn't get into that Jubilee time period because of something that happened to him. Okay? So I want you to understand that this cycle is coming around again. 120 years. If you're not careful, you might wind up like Moshe and not make it into the promised land and be free. Okay? Is everyone with me so far? I really had some more to talk about this, but all right. Now, so I was putting in a little bit of my notes, but what's interesting is 120 years is also the Jubilee year that we will be in the promised land. Moshe was an example. As to not making it in on the Jubilee year, we need to understand that the Jubilee year is in lengths of sevens, which we'll maybe have to talk about another time, the counts and everything like that. But I say, in closing, with a thought that you guys should look into. The last great day is linked to Sukkot, but also understand it is linked to circumcision. See how they are connected. Learn how or what this day means for Yashra'al and Israel. You can go to Yirmiyahu if you want to look at some of those things. But so we must learn that we must have a circumcision of the heart. Okay? So if you don't have a circumcision of the heart, all that you have done, you labored in. Right? Don't go all that you do, all this great stuff from the Most High, and then somebody stops you from making it in to the kingdom. They surely will do that, and then you really be hot when they make it in. Okay? But you didn't make it in. Okay? Now, you saw Moses, they put him on top. He said, "You can look." He said, "Oh, wow. That looks nice." He said, "Can I just, don't even ask me again. I just showed you. Stop it." Okay? Same thing. We got to realize that we have to endure, as Michelle says, endure to the end. All right? So don't labor in vain. Everything that we learn, we build on, we keep going. Every year, it's supposed to be getting better and better. All right, so next year, we'll review this here for Sukkot next year, and this time try to apply more of what they did in Sukkot. All right, hallelujah? Hallelujah.
Chief Moray from Chester, Virginia, came down to Tabernacle with us. The Lord said, "Yes, hallelujah." It's a pleasure being here tonight, right? Yes. All right, you get a chance to experience this last festival that's going on in the 7th month, okay, the 15th day, from the 15th day to the 21st, 7 days, and we're about to now move into the 15th to the 21st is the Feast of... Okay, yeah, from the 15th to the 21st is the Feast of Sukkot. Then after that, we're about to move into...
Shemini Atzeret.
All right, the 8th day. Okay, so we just want to make sure that everybody understands the festivals. We talked about forgiveness. We talked about love. All these things we're going to have to apply. And like Moray said, listen, after all of this is over, nobody is supposed to fall back asleep. We move forward from here on out with our eyes open so that when the next festival comes, now we get better and better and better. These are all rehearsals. These are all the festivals of the Lord that's outlined in the book of Leviticus, the book of Vayikra, the 23rd chapter. And we're going to keep talking about it. Okay, we're going to go over the Jubilees again. Israel was delivered the first time during a... okay. When Hamashiach came back, he stopped in the middle, opened up the book, he came back at that time doing okay, great, excellent. All right, so you remember? Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so Mr. McCown, what we're going to do is that we're going to blow the shofar 7 times, and we're going to have our officer, okay, Yashra'al, to close it up with prayer, and then we have Brother Yashra'al, he wants to say a few things. You want to also do a prayer, right? Oh, okay, excellent, all right. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yashra'al in this hour of prayer, and then we're going to have Brother Yashra'al with the prayer with us.
Dear God, Heavenly Father, Yahweh, we thank you, Father. We thank you, Father, for allowing us to come together. We humble ourselves, Father. We come before you because we know that we are nothing without you, Father. I pray, Father, that you just forgive us for our sins, Father. We come before you, Father, asking you to draw us near, Father. Receive with us as your chosen, Father, as your people, Father. We come before you, Father, because you have chosen and set apart people, Father. And you gave us your commands, Father. And you told us to go out, Father, and teach your people, Father, but we were stiff-necked, Father. So I ask for forgiveness for our forefathers, Father. I ask for forgiveness for what we have been continuing to do, Father, which is transgress your ways, Father. Yeah. We come before you, Father, because we know, Father, that without you, Father, because we don't give you enough credit for the mercy that you continue to show upon us, Father. Every day we wake up, Father, it is because of you. The love that we have for you, Father, you gave it to us, Father. Father, I come before you, Father, just want to say thank you, Father. Told the Father for letting us be alive, for our breath, for our children, for our families, Father. Told y'all, Father, for allowing us to come into your truth, Father. Because there are so many people, Father, who are walking around ignorant, Father. But you have mercy upon us, Father, that we will not die in our ignorance, Father. I pray, Father, that you just keep us strong, Father. You know, to test the temptations, Father. You say, those you love, you will test, you will try, Father. I pray, Father, in all times of trials and tribulations and testing, Father, that we weather, Father, that we prove that we are yours, Father. I pray, Father, that you continue to guide us, continue to keep us safe, Father. Continue to keep us in your walk, Father, into your truth, Father. Those who come from long distances, Father, protect them on the word, Father. I pray, Father, that you allow us to come together, that this doesn't stop here, Father. But we set aside our differences and our pride, Father, because pride has kept us down for so many years, Father. And we set this aside, Father, that we come together, Father, and lay all those aside, Father, and come together as family, Father, because you called us together for a reason, Father. Let your word be true, Father. Your word is true. Let every man be alive, Father. I come before you just want to say thank you for the food. Thank you for the people, Father. Place your hands upon it, Father. All prayers I pray through the name and authority of God who shot, Father, to your Lord. The Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I pray. Hallelujah. Amen.
Okay, next we're going to have Brother Yashra'al.
Before I pray, I just want to say to all of you, always keep in mind the things that your Lord has done for you. They're all miracles. When you pray and he answers you, whether by a dream or whether by a vision, It's all in there. Things that you ask Him for, make it so that it's pleasing to Him. Don't consider our wants, but consider what He wants. And we'll always receive what we need and what we want if we're pleasing to Him. We're going to pray now. For allowing us to assemble together in your presence. Father, as we go forward throughout the rest of this year and throughout the rest of our days, we ask that you always keep our steps in your way. Allow us to be mindful of the things we say and the things that we do before other people. Allow our words to show esteem towards your name. Keep in us a spirit of humbleness and meekness, forgiveness to other people. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Father, always allow us to show love to the brethren and be mindful of their works and the things that they do. Allow it to strengthen us. Allow us to go forward as a people, as a nation, as those who are taught in your ways. Allow the things that hinder us from studying and the works and the troubles of this world and the things that grieve us, allow them to fall away. Allow us to be able to sit down and have some time with you in your word, in prayer, and understanding. Father, as we begin to believe, just protect us and keep us safe. Keep our minds stayed on you always. Give thanks and praise in the name of Yashra'al. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Services.
Praise God. Greet each other with love.
Okay. We're going to have Moray Eliyahu come up.
I just want to say, thanks again for everyone that came out and made this joyous occasion what it has been, and we just thank the Most High for our leaders, our Chief Moray Lamayahu, our Moray here, Moray Kasadaba. Just thank the Most High for everybody, no matter what your calling may be, everybody that contributed to make this such a joyous occasion, and we just thank the Most High. We just want to extend our love from Congregation Yashra'al to our extended family. All those that we met for the first time, seem like we just been knowing you for 100 years, praise the Most High. And we just thank the Most High for you. Just want you to know that we love you from the bottom of our heart. And at this time, we're going to pray over this food because Moray was hungry. Picking up signals. Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel, we thank you for all that has been said. Now we thank you for the food that we're about to receive. We ask that you grant us favor and grant those that prepare the food, just, baruch them, and just we thank them for their time and effort for putting this food together so we can be nourished. We just ask that you let it be edifying to our bodies as you are for our souls. And we just thank you and just ask you to continue to baruch your people everywhere with food, clothing, and shelter. All year long, for the rest of our days, we just thank you for everything. In the precious name of your Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. Hallelujah.
I just want to say I'm happy.